Bruce Willis was never just an actor, he was an icon. For decades he brought unforgettable characters to life, fearless heroes who took down evil with grit, strength, and that signature smirk. He became a symbol of resilience for millions. But today, the man who created so many memories is losing his own, and his reality is heartbreaking. In March 2022, Bruce Willis's family shared devastating news. He had been diagnosed with aphasia, a neurological disorder that affects communication. He could think clearly, but the words he wanted to say were locked inside his mind. Speaking became a struggle. Understanding language began to slip away. Then came an even harsher truth. By February 2023, the family revealed that Bruce had frontotemporal dementia. It wasn't just his speech that was disappearing. Bruce was slowly losing himself. FTD has no cure and no way to slow its progression, leaving his loved ones helpless as they watch him decline day by day. And the reality is even more painful than it sounds. On December 5, 2024, Bruce's ex-wife Demi Moore attempted to reassure fans by saying he was in a stable place. But that statement raised more questions than comfort. Stable compared to what? Did that mean there were moments when he wasn't? Reports soon revealed the truth. Bruce could no longer speak in full sentences, could barely read, and struggled to walk or perform even mild physical activity. The man who once performed his own stunts now battles basic movement. His wife, Emma Heming Willis, described watching his language deteriorate as terrifying. The most haunting part? She remembers when it started. Bruce had a childhood stutter, so when his speech began to change, she assumed it was simply returning. She had no idea something far more serious was unfolding. She later wondered, if she had known sooner, would anything have changed? Or was this decline inevitable? Emma also shared a devastating realization. Bruce may not fully understand what is happening to him. He could be trapped in a state of partial awareness, drifting between knowing and not knowing. Despite this pain, Emma is determined to bring him moments of warmth and comfort, proving that her love extends far beyond the good days. But then came a decision that ignited controversy. Emma, who married Bruce in 2009, shares 2 daughters with him, Mabel, 12, and Evelyn, 10. In August 2025, she chose to move Bruce into a second home with full-time caregivers. Almost immediately, critics questioned her motives. Had she abandoned him? Emma explained that this was what Bruce would have wanted, that he would want his daughters to grow up in a home designed around their needs, not one shaped by his illness. But would Bruce truly agree? There's a painful possibility that he may not even be aware of the decision at all. Emma is caught in an impossible position, caring for a husband who is fading while protecting 2 young girls who are slowly losing their father. She no longer sees herself only as Bruce's wife, but as his care partner, one who is torn every day. She watches her daughters grieve a man who is still alive. Bruce no longer remembers birthdays. School plays mean nothing to him now. He struggles to emotionally connect with his children, and Emma fears the damage this slow loss may cause, wondering if her daughters will ever fully recover from watching their once energetic, loving father disappear before their eyes. It's a tragedy unfolding in real time, and one no amount of fame, strength, or heroism could ever stop. Could Bruce's condition have lasting effects on his daughters? How is Emma supposed to hold everything together? The pressure is immense. Moving Bruce away from the family home might look like an easier choice, but the truth is far more complicated. On July 26, 2025, Emma finally addressed the rumors, asking the public not to believe anonymous speculation, warning that careless comments could hurt her family. The reality of what they're enduring cannot be simplified into a story of abandonment. Even Bruce's older daughter, Tula Willis, from his marriage to Demi Moore, has shared the emotional toll of watching her father change. Before his diagnosis, she noticed something was wrong but didn't realize it was a medical condition. When she tried to engage with him, his unresponsiveness led her to fear that he no longer loved her. She didn't yet know it was the disease. Today, Tula speaks openly about the importance of expressing feelings and being present, and she is more involved than ever. Demi Moore also remains deeply connected, attending family gatherings and sharing glimpses of family life on social media. On Bruce's 70th birthday, the family came together to celebrate. So, was Bruce truly abandoned? The answer is clear, no. Bruce's struggles weren't hidden from the world either. Between 2018 and 2022, he appeared in 22 films, many low-budget productions where his name alone guaranteed a paycheck. Reports suggested he earned $2 million for as little as 2 days on set, but his health was deteriorating, and colleagues noticed. On the set of Hard Kill in January 2020, actress Lala Kent experienced it firsthand. In a scene requiring Bruce to save her character, he fired a prop gun at the wrong time. Twice, crew members had to ensure no one was in the line of fire. Even after rust and heightened prop safety awareness, Bruce, the action legend, was no longer reliable with a prop weapon. It wasn't just the props. Bruce couldn't always remember his lines or understand their meaning. Crew members described him as puppeted, maneuvered through scenes without agency. The action hero, once unstoppable, had been reduced to a shadow of himself, yet the cameras kept rolling. Similar issues arose during Midnight in the Switchgrass in September 2020. Bruce struggled to perform simple actions and needed lines fed to him via an earpiece. Directors tried everything, from physical demonstrations to verbal guidance, but he couldn't process it. By Out of Death in 2021, the director had to reduce Bruce's speaking parts. And yet, despite these struggles, the industry kept casting him. Why? Bruce was a cash cow. His name could turn a modest $2 million budget into a profitable project. Everyone knew he was struggling, crew, producers, directors, but the show went on. Some defended it, claiming Bruce enjoyed working and chose to be there. Others worried that he was being exploited. It's impossible to know the full mix of factors: financial pressures, Bruce's own drive, or the relentless demands of an industry that prioritizes profit over well-being. Chronic stress, overwork, and decades of intense action stunts undoubtedly take a toll on the brain. Research shows chronic stress can accelerate cognitive decline, and Bruce's career was defined by decades of explosions, stunts, and high-pressure performance. Even so, Bruce remained professional, a hero in front of the camera. But the cameras eventually stopped rolling. Behind the scenes, he faced a disease with no cure, no treatment, and no reversal. Frontotemporal dementia is rarer than Alzheimer's, meaning research is limited and solutions are still years away. There is a glimmer of hope. A nasal spray under study at the University of Sheffield could eventually prevent some forms of FTD, potentially safeguarding his daughters if they carried the gene. But for Bruce, it's too late. Today at 70, Bruce's condition is described as stable. He is neither rapidly declining nor improving. Emma continues as his primary caregiver, or as she prefers, his care partner. Mabel and Evelyn visit regularly. Demi Moore and his older daughters remain active in his life. Despite the heartbreak the family endures, refusing to let media speculation define their story. This is not a tale of abandonment. It is the story of a family navigating an impossible situation with love and courage. It is about a wife who must balance her husband's medical needs with her daughter's childhoods. It is about children grieving a father who is still alive but no longer recognizes them. It is about an ex-wife who shows up for the family because that is what Bruce would want. And it is about Bruce Willis himself, a man who taught us to believe in heroes, now teaching the ultimate lesson, that love persists even when the person you love is no longer the same. And now Bruce is quietly saying goodbye, not with an explosive finale worthy of his films, but in the slow, silent way that life and disease often demand. This goodbye is slow, painful, and fragmented. Piece by piece, we watch him fade, first his voice, then his comprehension, his mobility, and eventually his very sense of self. But as fans, what can we do? We can learn. We can advocate for more research into frontotemporal dementia. We can support organizations like the Association for Frontotemporal Degeneration. We can have honest conversations about cognitive health and the warning signs we too often overlook. And maybe, just maybe, we can demand better from Hollywood, stronger protections for actors, greater transparency about health issues on set, and higher ethical standards when a performer is clearly struggling. Bruce Willis is not the first actor to face dementia, and he won't be the last. Rita Hayworth, Robin Williams, Charlton Heston, Wendy Williams. The list goes on. These aren't just celebrities. They are human beings who brought us joy, laughter, inspiration, and excitement. When their minds begin to fail them, they deserve more than being paraded through one last paycheck. They deserve dignity, rest, and a farewell on their own terms. Bruce Willis gave us decades of unforgettable entertainment. Now it's our turn to give back by raising awareness, supporting research, and remembering that behind every headline is a real person, a real family, and a real tragedy that demands compassion. Rest well, John Lund. You earned it.